Hello creative coders, welcome to our channel Creative Coding. I hope you all are doing great. So first things first, this video is the second episode of our series CSS mini projects, and in this video we are going to see how we can create this button. It is a 3D cartoon button, and when you click on it you get this beautiful effect. So for those who don't know me, my name is Shikhar Bania. I am an educator, mentor and a web developer, and I have my own Instagram handle as CreoCodigo, where I post content related to web development daily. So I guess let's get started. The description. So let's talk about Newton School. Newton School is a platform which provides you a career in tech. It has courses specially designed for freshers, working individuals, and even women who don't have any background in tech. Around 300 companies hire from Newton School. Also, Newton School is providing a pay after placement policy under which you don't have to pay anything to Newton School until and unless you are placed with a minimum of 5 lakh CTC. Sounds great, right? Let's talk about another feature of Newton School called Launchpad. So, Launchpad is an initiative taken by Newton School for those who want to start their coding journey from scratch. You can learn all of these languages like Java, Python, SQL, Node.js. You can have some hands-on experience on that. You can after completion you will receive a certificate, and you will become job ready after completing all the courses. And the best part is this whole thing is provided for free. Yes, so don't forget to check that out. So I have written some basic things that we really want. So let's first go to our HTML. In HTML we have this HTML tag head section under which all the meta tags appear, and we have also given the title as 3D cartoon button. And let's write the body of our web page. So let me write first, we want a button. Okay, so button, let's close this as well. And inside this button I want to show a text, so let's say subscribe now. Well, this reminds me, if you haven't subscribed our channel, do subscribe it now. And let's give it a class of, let's say, big button. Okay, we got this button on our output. Now let's style it and give it animation. So styling appears in CSS. So in this we have imported Google font of Open Sans. Okay, and we have declared some variables here. So if you want to declare a variable in CSS, you have to specify that in root. This is a pseudo element, and in this pseudo element you can declare your variables and assign some values to it. I have declared 5 variables: color shade A, B, C, D and E. And remember, if you are declaring a variable, you have to write 2 hyphens before that. Okay, so I have provided RGB values to them. So let's target first our whole document. So body, and let's display it as flex. So what I want is, I want to display this button in the center of our output. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to write 3 lines. First is display flex, then justify content as center, and then align items as center. Okay, right now it is centered columnly, but I want it to center here, so you have to specify a height to it. So let me give it a height of 100 VH. So now it gets centered on our output. So what VH means, view height. It will adjust your height according to your screen. If you have small screen, it will adjust according to that, and if you have large screens, it will adjust according to that. So as you can see, if I decrease the size of our window, it will remain at the center. So you can see this as a trick to center a div. Okay. Next, I want the body to have a font family of Open Sans, which we have just included through Google Font Sans Serif. Okay. I want it to have a font size of 1 EM. Okay. EM is a relative unit. It will adjust your size according to the screen size. Okay. Next, let's give it a background color. Okay. So let me hide this. Okay. Let's give it a background of hash F6, F7, FC. Okay. And by default, we don't want any margin. So let's safe side, we declare the margin as 0. Now let's target our button. Okay. So button, let's give it a position relative. Let's give it a display as inline block. So position relative means the element which you specified the position as relative, it will adjust its size relative to the window. If I suppose give it a top and a left margin, it will adjust according to the window, not a particular div. Okay. So, and display inline block means if you want to display things column wise or row wise, you can use the display inline block, like one under the other, right? Next, I don't want the button to have any outline, so outline will be 0. I don't want any border, so border will be none. As you can see, the border got removed. Let me increase the size, font size, let's say 1.5 rem. So the size got increased. Rem means relative to element. Okay. Next, let's change the color. Now I want to use this colors, these variables. So in order to use those variables in your CSS, you have to write var function, and inside this you have to pass that variable name. I want color shade A. As you can see, the color got changed. Next, let's make the text bold. So font weight will be 700. Okay. Also, let's get the font family inherit. So what this inherit means, since button is the child class of inside our body, bodies will be the parent class and button will be the child class. So inherit means it will inherit properties of font family from its parent class. Since we have specified the font family as Open Sans, it will inherit that in button as well. Okay. Next, what do we want? As you might have noticed, when I'm hovering over our text, the cursor is not changing, right? So in previous video, I have told how to change the cursor. Okay. And in order to, let me show you again, you will specify cursor as pointer. So now when I go over the button, the cursor is changing to pointer, right? So it will show user that you have to click on it. Next, I don't want any text decoration, so text decoration will be none. And let's uppercase all the text inside a button. So text transform will be uppercase, like this. Okay, so now it is looking great. Now let's target our class big button. So inside it is present inside button as a class, so big button. Okay, let me change the background. Before changing the background, let me give it a border of 2 pixel solid, and color I want to pass it a variable, so color shade A. So now our button got this 2 pixel border. Okay, next I want to increase the size or increase the space between the text and the border. So for that you have to use the padding properties. Okay, now if I specify, suppose 2 rem, so it will take 2 from all the sides, from top, from bottom, from left and from right. Okay, so if I suppose specify like this 1 rem, so this first value will be considered for top and bottom, and the second value will be considered for left and right. So as you can see, we got 1 rem space from top and bottom and 2 rem space from left and right. Okay, next I want this border to be curved, so border radius will be, let's say, 1 em. The border got this circular shape. Okay, also let's change the background of button. So background will be let's say variable. I want to use color E. We got this light greenish background. Okay, now I want to transform this button as, I want to change the transform style of this button as Resolve 3D. Okay, so this will tell the CSS that this element means treat this element as if it is 3D. Okay, the transform style will be 3D. Also let's change the let's apply a property transition for all. We have to specify the time of your transition, so let's say 175 millisecond, and then you have to specify the inward animation and outward animation of your animation or of your effect. Okay, so in this you are going to use cubic Bezier. So cubic Bezier means in this you have to provide 4 values. In any coordinates there are 4 quadrants, like, right, x, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So in this cubic Bezier you have to specify 4 points in these 4 quadrants, and it will go from first point, suppose P1, and to the second point, suppose P3, P4. Okay, so let me specify that 0, 0, 1 and 1. So it will start from 0, it will end at 1, but it will go through these 2 points as well. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Okay, let me copy this. Since we are going to selecting this, so let's see another pseudo element called before. So before let me show you what the use of this pseudo element. Let me write a content here, hello. So what this will do, it will add the content before your element. Okay, so as you can see, hello is printed before our subscribe now, and if I write here after, you will see the hello comes after the subscribe now. So that is the use of before and after pseudo element. Let me remove that. So you can show text or you can show anything you want. Okay, you can style a custom thing and place it before your root element. Okay, so let me first give it a position of absolute. So absolute means it will position according to the div it's present inside. So since this is present inside this button, so it will adjust its position according to this button, not according to this whole window. Okay. Next, content will be none. Let's change the background as variable. We didn't use color shade C, so let's give it a width of 100%. Okay. Height of 100%. So now as you can see, we got this rectangle. Now we want this to overlap of above this button. So let's give it a top value 0, bottom value 0, left value 0, and right value 0. Now it got above our button. Now let's also give it border radius. Okay, so now we have specified the border radius in our parent class. So we just have to write here inherit like this. Okay. Next, I want to give this a box shadow property. So box shadow. Box shadow usually requires 5 values. So first will be horizontal alignment, second is vertical alignment, third is blur value, fourth is the spread value of our shadow, and fifth is the color that you want your shadow to be. Okay, so I don't want any vertical alignment, I don't want any horizontal alignment, I don't want any blur value, but I want a spread value, so 2 pixel. Okay, then I need to specify the color. So color is present in variable, so color shade B. Okay, now if you want to show another shadow as well, you just have to use comma and then specify your next shadow. So I want 0 0.75 em 0 0, and I want the variable to be color shade A. Okay, so as you can see, we got this shadow of our the overlapping part. Okay, so this is the shadow of our overlapping part. Okay, next I want to transform it. So transform, and there is a property translate 3D which requires 3 values, x-axis value, y-axis value, and z-axis value. Okay, so x-axis will be 0, y-axis will be 0.75 em, and z-axis will be minus 1 em. So as you can see, the overlapping part got it goes behind of our subscribe now. Okay, along the z-axis. So we got this beautiful button. Okay, also I want to apply this transition property, so let's copy this, paste it here. So we got this beautiful button. Now let's apply some hover effects. So let me copy this. Okay, hover is another pseudo element which allows you to edit your element on hover. Okay, hover means when I pass my cursor around any object or over any object. So in this I want to transform it and translate 0. So translate will ask for x and y axis only. Okay, 0.375 em. So when I click on it, you can see when I hover on it, you can see the animation, right? It will not move along x-axis, but it will move along y-axis. So it is going downward. Okay. Also, I want to change the background. So background will be variable color shade B. Now when I'm hovering over it, you can see the background changing. So it it looks like the button is getting pressed, right? So that is just the color theory you applied. Color theory's knowledge is also important. Okay, so next, after this hover, let's learn another pseudo element of this, which is active. So what active does, when I click on it, the active pseudo element calls. Okay, whenever I click something on some element, this active pseudo element will call. Okay, so on this, what I want is, I want to transform it and translate it 0, 0.75 em. Okay, so let me show you what exactly we did. When I click on it, you can see the button is again going downward, right? A little whenever I click on it. So that is the function of this active pseudo element. Okay. Next, the last thing what I want is, I want this to, this before button element and this shadow to compress like this, to press against the subscribe now button. Okay, so let's do that. So copy this active. Whenever we press active, so before that, what we have to do, not before time wise but before position wise. So I want to transform and translate 3D. I don't want to translate it around x-axis. I don't want to translate it around y-axis, but I want to translate it around z-axis. So now when I click on it, you can see this before part. Since we are targeting the before part is getting compressed. Okay, now let's talk about this shadow. So it is basically a shadow, so you can directly edit that box shadow. So 0, 0, 0, 2 pixel, sorry, 2 pixel, and the variable color will be B. Again 0. Now this will be 0.25 em. 0, 0, and variable will be color shade B. Now let's see, when I click on it, you see both of those layers got is merging below the subscribe now. Okay, so this is the 3D cartoon button that we have just created, and it looks amazing. So how was the animation, guys? I hope you really like the animation that we have just created. Please like, share and subscribe our channel if you want us to bring more creative content to you. And if you have any doubts related to this video, comment down on the comment section, or you can contact me on these social media handles. I will love to clear your doubts. And don't forget to check out Newton School website for more information about them. So keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.